Hi friends, Itheria here. This week I've been feeling a little bit tired and uninspired, so I just wanted to have a casual conversation. We're going to talk about content lulls in Final Fantasy XIV. I think we are probably in a content lull right now, so let me just tell you what that means to me. To me, a content lull is usually a time when a lot of people stop playing the game or they play it a lot less. Some people will unsub, some people won't, but in general, the player base isn't going to be quite as populous just because there's not a lot of new content happening. Usually we have major patches like 6.1 that drop new content like new raids, new dungeons, new extreme trials, PvP, MSQ story continuation. But between those major patches, there's often not really a lot going on. They do drop mini patches like the one they just dropped, 6.15, where we did get the Beast Tribe and the custom deliveries, which I know crafters are really excited about. But aside from that, there's not necessarily that much to do, which I kind of hate even saying because it's not really true that there's not much to do. Like, there's actually a lot to do, but the question is like whether or not that a lot is fun, because I feel like a lot to do, most of it is farming stuff. So it's kind of good and bad. So if you wanted to play catch up, or you just wanted to have time to do other stuff, because when new content drops, I think most of us drop everything and just go to do the content. Like, who's gonna be like, no, I am busy farming my dragon mount, I'm not gonna do the new content. Like, most people are really excited about the new content because there's something in there that they want to do, so they're gonna drop the farming stuff or decrease the amount that they're farming other things to do the new content. So a content lull can be kind of nice, because if you were farming something or you want to farm something, you now have time to do it. You aren't, super interested in whatever new thing has come, whether it be crystalline conflict, like whatever you were obsessed with when the patch dropped, you've probably cooled down by now and you're ready to spend time on other things. So I think that's actually a benefit of content lulls. And for people who are maybe a bit newer to the game and are still working their way through the story, this also gives them time to catch up. Now, I've always been of the mind that Final Fantasy XIV isn't necessarily a game where you absolutely have to be endgame, absolutely have to be caught up, because part of the fun of the game, like one of the most fun things about the game, for me at least, is definitely the story. So I do think that people should take their time and enjoy that. But for people that want to do endgame content, who are really interested in it, because I was definitely interested in endgame stuff when I was newer to the game, even though I didn't end up doing, it took me a long time to do Savages and even Extremes. I was kind of afraid of them for some reason. But even though it took me a long time to do those things, I still wanted to be endgame for the glam. I wanted to do dungeons and alliances like the near one. So yeah, I remember I wanted to be endgame even though I was enjoying the story. So for people that, want that, again, content lulls can be time for them to catch up. And similarly, now that Endwalker has been out for 6.5-ish months, people are not holding back the spoilers anymore. So again, for people that are still working their way through the MSQ, they gotta be really careful on social media. And again, this just gives them a chance to work their way through the story and, hopefully move along enough that they're not going to get too many things spoiled for them, because it is a really great story and it sucks when spoilers and things like that happen. For me, I actually kind of like content lulls because I feel like they free me up to do other things and play other games, especially because I am on YouTube now and I'm streaming on Twitch occasionally when I feel like it. I'm sorry, I don't have a schedule, but I want to play other games. I'm like, okay, how can I call myself a gamer girl or whatever I don't really call myself it, but oh my god, I don't know what. Anyway, how can I pretend to be a gamer at all, if I don't play anything but Final Fantasy XIV. Maybe that's stupid. I mean, enjoy the games you want to enjoy. If it's just one game, why the hell not? But I want to try more games. I want to play more games. I want to dip my toes into things other than MMOs, because growing up, that was pretty much all I ever played. I never really played RPG games or anything of the sort, so I like content lulls because they give me an opportunity to do other things. I mentioned this in a past video, but I do have the tendency to get kind of addicted to games, and like I will no-life them, especially MMOs. I have trouble splitting my time between games, especially when I am playing an MMO, because I feel like a lot of times MMOs do require more time spent on them, more kind of like grinding. It sometimes feels harder to just kind of leave them behind, because especially when the content is new, everyone is doing it. I do think that Final Fantasy has some good systems in place for when content gets old. Like, you can do Castrum Lacus Latour with like 5 people. So they do have, you know, stuff in place for when it gets old, so that like people that are first doing it can still actually complete it. But it is a lot of fun to do that stuff when it's new. So I definitely get caught up in that, and get caught up in kind of playing the game a lot when there is new content and a lot of new stuff to do. So for me, I like that we have these content lulls, because now I feel like, okay, there's nothing like pressing to do. Like, yes, I could go farm a relic weapon or the dragon mounts, because I don't have them all, or Gwibber, whatever you want to call them. But I'm like, you know, it's something that I can leave for later. It's not pressing, it's not important, it's not gonna go away, that sort of thing. So it's nice because I can play other games, have different experiences, and also hobbies other than games. I can get off the computer and play with my dog. I'm trying to learn how to crochet. I want to make amigurumi. So I just really like that you have an opportunity to do other stuff. You don't have to feel like you're married to the game or like you're obligated to play it. Now, from the standpoint of the business, I often wonder like it almost feels like a privilege, the fact that we even have these content lulls, because a lot of companies would not want this, because they're going to see the player base drop, they're going to see less people logging into their game, and they're going to be like, that's not good for us to make money, right? So that's why I'm like, it almost feels like a privilege that we even have this. However, I don't think that SE is necessarily doing nothing about it. I'm glad that they're not being predatory about it, but they do kind of throw in things to entice people. I think one of the main sort of predatory things they do is the housing, where 45 days your house gets demolished. I get it. There's limited housing, so if people aren't logging in, then somebody else can have the house of their dreams, hopefully. But, you know, it's kind of a sucky system for people that want to keep their house they aren't even playing and they have to like pay $15. But housing aside, during content lulls, 14 is still trying to give us some stuff to do. They often run events. We've got the Garl event and the Make It Rain event going on right now, so those can kind of entice people. And the nice thing about some of these events is that, again, it is tempting to play them because you get free stuff, cool emotes, and fashion, things like that. However, a lot of them, if you miss them, you can buy them on the Mog Station, or they will happen again in the future. I mean, look at the Garl event. It happened in the past, which I don't know when because I wasn't playing the game, but I think it was probably 2 to 3 years ago, maybe more, I have no clue. And now it's happening again. Of course, the Garl event is a little bit more exclusive, and they did drop it with patch 6.1, not during a content lull, but it's ongoing. So it is something people can work on during the content lull, because some of those PvP achievements do take a while to do. I mean, winning 10 frontlines is harder than you may think. I have not won 10 yet, because I haven't been doing it. I was more concerned about the fashion, which I got. But Make It Rain, you get cute little emotes, and like I said, those things will usually become available on the Mog Station. So I think it's clever, and I think the way they do it, I guess, is somewhat like respectful of the player base, because it's not like they're running some event where you get like exclusive materials for endgame pieces or something, because I think something I see in a lot of other games is they keep pushing like materials or just like things that you need to get the best of the best gear, where in 14, honestly, best in slot doesn't really matter that much. I mean, if you're a min-maxer, then yeah, you'd probably want to get best in slot. If you're going to be doing the ultimate, then you'll want to get the best in slot for the ultimate, but everybody else, like, you don't have to stress about it, you don't need it. You can go through, as long as you meet the minimum item level for any of the dungeons, raids, trials, etc. that you're doing, that's all you need. Like, that's enough. Which I think is fantastic. And it's almost weird to me that they respect us in this way, but like I said, it feels clever to do this, to like not make people feel forced to play the game, but then to still entice them with events, because at the end of the day, you pay for your sub, you get a whole month, and that's it. You don't have a choice to just log in for a day to do the event. So, you know, they get your money regardless if you do like come online to play for the event, but at the same time, it's not like super detrimental to the community. You're not missing out on anything if you decide not to play. Anyhow, by this point, I am probably going in circles, but I think you can tell that overall, I think that content lulls are a good thing. Even though I admit that I do get bored of the game during the content lulls, I think that's okay. I think it's okay to take a break from the game, and I think it's nice that I have the opportunity to do so, and to go find other things to fill my time with. So, as always, I would like to hear your thoughts in the comments. What do you guys do during content lulls? Do you play other games? Do you instead grind stuff that you want to get in 14? How do you spend your time? As always, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed listening to me talk, which apparently people do, then please consider subscribing, leave a like, blah blah blah. Bye!